Hi, everyone. We did our research study on financial aid and grants awareness and utilization at Colorado State University. Our group members are myself, Asia Cruz, and then Yesenia Guevara, and then Kelby Holtz. Our background, we wanted to explore financial aid packages that were rewarded to students during their school year. As well as their time at CSU, not just at CSU, well, yes, at CSU, and then how effective these packages were to students, and then if FAFSA even covered the amount of finances students were expected to pay during the school years, demographics that went into, that dictated the amount of financial aid and that students would receive. We wanted to do research on how well CSU provided assistance towards its students during the pandemic, such as the CARES Act that some students, the CARE Act that CSU offered students, and then as well as if students felt enough support by CSU regarding financial aid, scholarship opportunities, and grants that they were eligible for. Our literature that we found kind of went into more depth on educational organizations in itself, both private and universities, institutions, and the demographics that played into financial aid, scholarship, and grants that were awarded to students. They also talked about low-income students who were eligible for financial aid packages, as well as singling students out in specific to kind of get a better overview of what worked and what didn't work for students, obstacles that were faced by different demographics of students. Some went into detail of who is to blame for students not reaching educational objectives, whether some studies seen that it was the students or if it was mainly the organizations that were setting students up for success because they weren't providing enough awareness and utilization of opportunities that they provided for their students. And then as well as FAFSA applications, knowing how to go over those and knowing how to apply when the time comes for the school year, as well as just extra assistance on them, and then as well as how to tackle increasing college tuition costs, since tuition is on the rise in some certain areas of the country. Our research question that we ended up formulating with was, the aim of this survey is to evaluate the overall awareness and utilization of institutional scholarships or grants that are available for all graduate and undergraduate students at Colorado State University.
Hello, my name is Kelby. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I will be discussing the methods and the results. So for research design, our survey had been a cross-sectional survey. Survey data was collected from October 24th, 2020 through October 30th, 2020. Sampling, strategy, and rationale. Data was collected by using convenience sampling through an email. The target population for sampling was Colorado State University students at the undergraduate and graduate level. More specifically, we sent out emails to our social work course classes such as 300, Social Work 340, Social Work 341, Social Work 343, Social Work 400, and Social Work 410. Data was collected online through an electronic questionnaire on Google Forms. The questionnaire consisted of 11 questions. All participants had remained anonymous during the whole time. For the ethics and procedure, we sent out a cover letter explaining who we were and the mission of our survey and the goal we were hoping to find. Participants always had the option to opt out or not answer a question, leaving it prefer not to answer. We also left contact information for each group member and our research professor. So some variables, the demographic variables we asked participants about were years of attending college, race and ethnicity, gender identity, housing situation, and income class. The dependent variables, we used a nominal scale for yes and no and unsure questions such as, did you receive financial federal aid assistance? And did you receive any other grants or scholarships? A Likert type scale was used for strongly agree to strongly disagree questionnaires such as, do you feel CSU supports and provides enough resources for financial support? So now we're moving on to the results. So for demographic results, 63.3% are seniors based on school credits, 30% were juniors, and a small percentage was made for sophomores. The majority for racial and ethnicity, the majority of participants had been white or Caucasian, 23.3% Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, and a small percentage was Middle Eastern or North African. Which of the following best describes your identity? 93.3% had been female, and the other small percentages was one male and one non-binary. 80% of the participants had lived off campus without a parent or guardian, and the remaining 20 lived with a parent or guardian. Some dependent variable results. Did you receive financial federal aid assistance for the academic year of 2020 to 2021? 63.3% had said yes, 33.3% no, and a small percentage said I prefer not to answer. The next question was, did you receive any other grants or scholarships of the academic year 2020 besides financial aid, FAFSA? 56.7% yes, 36.7% had said no, and a small percentage was unsure. What kind of financial assistance do you receive while attending school? Click all that applies. So we can see a large majority were grants at 56.7%, loans 26.7%, scholarships at 50%, and family support was at 46.7%. Another question we asked was, for the Likert scale, how well do you feel like financial aid and grants helped pay for your tuition and other financial responsibilities of the academic year 2020 through 2021? 46.7% said high, 23.3% moderate, 20% low, and 10% at none. Do you feel Colorado State University supports you and provides resources for your financial needs throughout the school year? 43.3% neutral, meaning they neither agree or disagree. 20% said disagree, and 23.3% hit agree. And then we have a couple responses for strongly disagree and some prefer not to answer. And that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much.
Dependent variable results. This was the second portion of the survey, which I was very curious to receive the results back. So for the first question of the second portion, it asked, did you receive your financial aid assistance for the 2020 and through 2021 academic year? 63.3 said yes, 33.3 said no, and then the green portion was I prefer not to answer, which was 3.3. Second question, did you receive any other grants or scholarships for the academic year of 2020 through 2021 besides FAFSA? 56 said yes, 36% said no, and the unsure portion was the unsure portion was 6.7. Still talking about the results. What kinds of financial assistance do you receive while attending school? Which there were many other supportive assistance that students receive, like grants, loans, and then the scholarships and family support, which the highest was the grants, 56.7%. Going to the next question, how well do you feel like financial aid grants helped you pay for your tuition and other financial responsibilities of the academic year of 2020 through 2021. 46 said high, and the lowest was green, which was 10%. Dependent results still continued, and the next question said, do you feel Colorado State University supports you and provides resources for your financial needs throughout the school year? Which the highest was neutral, 43.3%, and then the purple and the blue were 6.7%. And going back to the neutral, I also agree with this, just because like many other universities and colleges dropped the bill for the spring and then the fall due to COVID, but CSU still had us pay such an extreme number for these semesters when we're online, which should have been shortened down. Anyways, next question. For strengths and limitations, strengths were applicable to other universities and community colleges, a better understanding of who receives and who does not receive financial aid. Questions were understandable and did not leave anyone with confusion, and also it was a free of charge to take the survey. Limitations does not represent everyone that attends other colleges. Time limitations, so this survey was only open for 7 days, and then some participants did not answer a few questions. It's not that they didn't answer, it's just that they chose the option to prefer not to answer, which was totally okay too. Next one, social work implications. It increases in awareness for individuals in need of financially. How financial aid provides guidance for individuals that attend college. And then the third one is similar to the first one, having a better understanding, supportive, and being more knowledgeable over other students that do not receive the financial support that may or may not need it. So yeah, for conclusion, the purpose of the study was to analyze utilization of scholarships and grants offered at CSU. Not all students qualified for financial aid. Others may not receive another source of income to help them financially. And financial aid is beneficial and should be used by all students that need the support. And then students suggest that CSU does not provide enough support on their ends with meeting the needs of students financially. And lastly, only few were awarded the CARES Act due to COVID and stuff, if you don't know what that is. But yeah, references. Here are references that we gathered from many articles. And that is it. Thank you for listening and participating in our survey as well. And I hope you guys have a amazing